A moment for safety will save a lifetime of regret.
Hi, my name is Shawn, and I'm the founder of K38. We are an international service provider that focuses on rescue watercraft training programs, and we have quite a few different types of courses that we offer. In this video today, I'd like to share with you the basic fundamentals that are the platform of what over 7,000 public safety agencies have been using since 1989. We have over 37,000 training hours in the United States alone, and this training is built to protect the reputations of the coxswains that qualify through these courses. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to qualify. That means that those who care about their training and their reputation and their agency representation will qualify, meaning that the training courses are put under scrutiny, that every single skill set that the students engage with is evaluated by our instructor cadre. We're training right here in Morro Bay in this video, and we're using 2018 Kawasaki Ultra LX jet ski watercraft. These are 3-person capacity watercraft, and we first train with just the boat. And the most important part for us is for the craft familiarization. We allow the students to understand what their height and their body weight does in association with the weight load capacity and the trim and the ergonomics of the craft seating. Also, we enable them to understand their foot placement on the operating deck, which is port, starboard, and astern. So in the beginning of the training, that's where our strength lies in, because that's the fundamental behavior that everybody is going to have to rely upon in another time. In this video right now, you see this yellow line. That's what we call a bow loop strap. These are removable. Don't use these in rivers. We don't use these in floods. So it's selective when they're put into use, and they are not fixed on the bow eye. They are removable, and they can be an entrapment issue in those more dynamic, high-risk areas. That's why we do remove them. In this video right here, you're seeing the ending being practiced with weight on board the rescue board, meaning that there's a crew person or a survivor who's role-playing on the rescue board, working the 4 points of the board. The operator is in control of the boat at all times, as well as the occupants and survivors. So what we're trying to do is, over time, get them comfortable with securing their ending and bringing it in tighter and tighter to where they have less stressors, they don't compromise the safety of the survivor, and that they can secure the craft properly. This is a major failing part in a lot of programs where you'll see that all that they do is over and over the hand in the air, which we call it a myth. We use that as a training block in our course to get people comfortable with operating the boat, but we quickly move away from that. In the thousands of recoveries that I've conducted in my career, which I started riding jet skis in 1979, is that people are not going to be putting their hand in the air. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to assume that that's how it's going to be. And when that happens in training, trainers are setting their student cadre up to fail when they have to actually deliver an actual rescue with a person in distress who's incapacitated. We also focus a lot on securing the engine cutoff switch and the lanyard. And that's a big part of our success in operations as coxswains, is not to lose control or the safety of that device, because that's our connection to the rescue watercraft. So we're very mindful of this. Students go through a variety of training disciplines. We have 16 basic criterion skills that we focus on. And here you can see what the draft of that Kawasaki Ultra is. For instance, we only train in specifics, so our operators know 2.6 feet. We're going to start and stop this boat consistently. And that's one of the things that they're scrutinized for, and that's one of the things that can allow them to pass or fail their course, their training. They'll get rolled back into another training program if they don't pass. So not everybody gets the trophy, and rightfully so, because this is a high-risk operation. In this element here you're seeing we have our coxswain working with a survivor in the water and doing a stern maneuver. We call it a Johnny B, where they're using their pivot points and they're working the center line of the craft, and they have a timestamp of so many seconds where they can perform this drill. The difficulty of this drill is in the impact zone of the surf area is that they only have so much time, which we call seconds and feet. So this is another one of our operational standards of care and duty and coxswain behavior. So we have hits where they actually secure the stop, and then we have misses, and this one here was a miss. But because the swell generated a very close fetch on the interior of the surf, meaning that we've got very short spacings between waves, there's not really enough time to adequately do a stern load of somebody who's incapacitated, because the literal physics involved and the rotational needs of a 13.1 length boat. That's basically double that on a turn for a pivot point, so that radius with speed and time and the space in between the waves becomes very critical. Now our coxswains are able to define all this. That's what makes them great. Here our coxswains are learning how to work the rescue watercraft without a rescue board, a towable accessory device. And the reason being is because we're not dependent on that device. If it's damaged or gets taken out of service, that doesn't mean the RWC has to be removed. We're practicing, of course, first the hand in the air. We do that in very calm conditions, then we move into more dynamic conditions. And then we move away from this and we start working on the Johnny B's and the full recovery assist for those that are incapacitated and multiple persons to board the craft. You'll see that the operator is very attentive. These coxswains in training have a very good situational awareness. They're learning the finer control methods of throttle modulation. When you're viewing this in slow motion, you can see the survivor role-playing, how much difficulty it is for them to reboard. In too many training programs, the role players are assisting, and it weakens the platform, it harms the coxswain, and it doesn't prepare the agency personnel for the real pressures that are going to be endured when it suddenly gets real with 1 to 3 survivors in the water who cannot lift their hand up, cannot kick their feet underwater, and have no physical strength or grasping strength with their hands. I cannot stress the utility, the need, the purpose, and the professionalism of training with purpose. Don't turn and burn gas. Have some goals. Know what the goals are. Discuss them. Write them down. Look at your mishaps. How many of you had over the last year, over the last 5 years? What are the problems with your program? Most of the programs I've looked at, they don't know how to even put their program together, let alone take care of the rescue watercraft and maintain it or its equipment. They're not really even sure how to outfit the craft properly or how to attach a rescue watercraft or a towable accessory device effectively that's not going to cause harm to the RWC. So there's a lot of critical assessments that need to be taken care of, put down on paper, and addressed. For this to work, you have to be honest. You have to get over yourself. You have to put your pride, your ego aside. You have to put aside all your little pettiness, and you have to get real, meaning somebody can die in your program. You can die. You can kill somebody. You can kill a survivor. That's not what you want to do. But because of negligence, of not understanding, or being ignorant of the maritime culture of these type of boats, meaning how does this boat function? What is its utility? What is its limitations? Clearly expressed and defined. I know what they are. I put the time into researching. I have thousands of files of documents and videos. I've studied daily the water rescue community need for these specific type of powerboats because I care. I have been willing to put the time in and translate that effectively into solutions that work. These aren't things that will put somebody down a dead end or waste their time in training. It's going to get them right to a competency level. Saves a lot of money. Slow in the front and builds up glory on the backside because it's effective. And effective means we can translate and define exactly, precisely what we're doing, how it's done, what the causes and reactions are, the limitations, the threats. You know, they call it risk assessment, right? Well, we don't just use risk assessment. We define it. We don't throw those catchphrases out there that people like to use. We're very specific because we're professional coxswains. And our students care about what they're doing. That's why they come to me for training, because they want to be the best and they want to be trained by the best. And I only can say that's because I try so hard and I care as if I were my student and my student were myself. So for me, it's their reputation, it's my reputation, but it's the survivability factors of the survivors that we're actually serving. That's the goal. That's what drives my training programs. That's what motivates my instructor cadre. And that's what brings competent and really amazing and outstanding students into our program. I'm so proud to be a part of this community. I have a great relationship with the manufacturers because they care about boating safety and they want to see competent and qualified operators on their craft. Thanks a lot for your time and thank you for your professionalism. See you next time.